Hey guys, it's Danny. It is time to give you a short little update on my Islandscape. Yes, we have inhabitants. I know that I posted that video I think a week ago when I'm filming this, but actually pre-recorded that one. It's actually been a few more weeks. Anyway, the tank was already cycled, so I could introduce the fish and all the livestock pretty fast. If you don't remember the previous video, I actually started this tank with the dark method, in the sense that I cycled it without plants in the dark because I didn't have plants available. So for a month it ran without plants, but with all the equipment installed, all the hardscape minus the light so we don't get algae, and in that month it got pretty cycled. So I didn't have any ammonia spikes after introducing the plants at all. I could introduce the livestock. The problem is it is the first time where the plants, as you can see, they're very tiny because those in the back, they were coming from the in vitro cups, the tissue culture cups, so it takes a while for them to grow. But because I added the livestock so fast, it's pretty bare. The tank is pretty bare for the livestock. I was afraid they were gonna be stressed due to the lack of hiding places, but no, they actually have quite a few hiding places. They're not aggressive fish anyway, so everything is okay. It's just weird. I've never had a tank that looks so young, already cycled, having fish, so it's new to me. That being said, there were some benefits. As you can see, all the algae are gone, including the cyanobacteria. The algae bloom didn't last too long because the tank was already cycled, so yeah, there was no ammonia for them to feed on, even though some plants did have immersed parts. In those parts I did have a bit of algae, but because I introduced the amano shrimps early, I basically didn't go through that whole algae process that I actually have in my Dutch. The Dutch tank, man oh man, it looks lovely, but I think you can see the hair algae. Yeah, this appeared in the other tank as well, but it lasted 2 days because I introduced the amano shrimps and everything was gone like in 3 days. Here, I can't. This aquarium is not stable yet. I need to let it be a little longer. I don't have ammonia spikes, but it has a lot of plants and some of them are still going through a melting phase because they were grown immersed. So the part that was grown terrestrial is dying off. I don't trust this tank yet with the amanos, but the moment that I introduce the amanos in here, they will clean all of this algae up, don't worry. But in the other tank, it's gone. The algae are all gone. So yeah, it was a little bit awkward to plant because the soil was wet and I really do not like to plant in wet soil. I prefer dry soil, but there are many benefits to the dark start. Definitely the algae issue is not a problem. I had to do less water changes because even if there was an ammonia spike, nobody cared. There was nothing alive in the tank, not even plants. So yeah, the ammonia could have gotten wherever it wanted to go. I didn't have to change the water, so I saved on water. Then when I planted the plants, they kind of took off immediately. The algae phase was very, very short, and also adding the livestock was very rapid. So I do really enjoy the dark start. In the video where I put together this tank, I said that I don't think I'm gonna do the dark start anymore because I really dislike to plant in wet soil, but the benefits are really, really good, so I might try it again. The transition for the livestock and the plants was seamless, and in the end, that's what I want. I want my animals and my plants to do well. You know, I care for their health, so yeah, it's worth it. It's worth me being a little annoyed by planting in wet soil. Oh, it also doesn't make for a nice video. So yeah, disadvantages and advantages. I highly recommend the dark start if you don't have plants particularly. Me, I might do it, I might not, depend. I also film, so I want to make nice videos as well. Anyway, enough blabbing. Let's just get to the updates. So let's start with my little crown jewel. This is an electric blue ram cichlid. He is a male, and if you guys know me, you know that the rams are, if not my favorite fish, some of my favorite fish. He also has a wife. You'll see her a little later. Other than that, I just have some very peaceful fish together with them. These are some ember tetras. Here is the beautiful wife of my electric blue. She's a normal or standard German blue. You can see she doesn't have much blue, but that's okay. I think she's gorgeous as she is, and they do get along very well, which is what's important. I'm not breeding them, so I don't really care exactly what varieties they are. Of course, amano shrimps, they are some of the best cleaning crew you can have in your tank. Trust me, when it comes to these very pesky hair algae at the beginning of your tank, amano shrimps will do such a good job. And I have 10 amano shrimps in this 80-liter or 21-gallon tank. The Ember Tetras are pretty old. I have them for about a year and a half. I've had them in other setups and other tanks, and they are very, very hardy fish actually. So if you're looking for a peaceful, very colorful fish, then this is a great choice. Mind you, you need to get groups of 6 or more, I would say 10 of them, because they feel good in a group. As you can see, they do swim together. Until Mrs. Ram splits them apart. Recently, I also got a few chili raspberries because they were the only ones left in the pet shop. And I have another chili raspberry which is leftover pretty much from a group of 10 that I used to have, and they kind of withered off due to unknown reasons. But the problem is he's been so used to hanging out with the Ember Tetras that he doesn't really want to hang out with his own kind. So he's up to his own devices, checking out the tank, in between the plants, hanging with the Ember Tetras. He's not really bothered with making new friends, but what to do? Now, even though the algae are pretty much gone, I do still have some remnants, particularly of cyanobacteria, which tends to ball up in these formations. Now, this is not eaten up by the cleaning crew, by the shrimps or the fish, because it's not an algae, it's a bacteria and it's poisonous. So what I do is I swirl a bamboo skewer and just pick it up like this. You can see it's very easy to remove. It doesn't really hang on to anything. So that's what I do. I just remove the clumps and I'm pretty much algae free. Let's not jinx it. And by the way, here's my beautiful Proserpinaca. I think I need to make a little switch with the Ludwigia behind. I've never had that Ludwigia. I didn't know it tends to lean, so I think it would be better to switch that pink Ludwigia from the back in the place of the Proserpinaca and move this beautiful orange plant, also known as mermaid weed, I think, in the back. So I'm gonna do that at some point. Now, as I was saying, the tank is pretty young and the moss didn't get a chance to fill in just yet, so you can still see the glue. I went for super glue, even though I typically don't like to glue the moss to wood due to this white residue that needs a little time to get covered by the moss. But since I did the dark start, I had to attach the moss with the wood inside the aquarium, and tying it was not an option, so I resorted to glue. It looks pretty bad, I know, but in about another couple of weeks it should start to look much better and those white residues should be covered. By the way, do you notice all of these bubbles that seem to be produced by the plants? They go upward. Yeah, this is called purling. These are actually oxygen bubbles produced by the plants, which are actively photosynthesizing. And in aquascaping, we call this purling. It's wonderful, it's magical, and it's a sign that the plants are absorbing enough CO2. Because here's the thing, without CO2 it's pretty hard to get these bubbles unless you're doing a water change or you're increasing the light or you do something to increase the speed of growth for the plants. Normally, without CO2 addition and without too much strong light, you don't have this amount of purling. You can see oxygen bubbles, and as I was saying, particularly when you do water changes, but if you want to have this steady stream, you kind of need CO2. And in planted tanks, I do believe CO2 is necessary for great results. All in all, I think my tank looks great for the amount of time it has been running for. It's a very young tank plant-wise. But so far so good. Algae have been minimal. Let's hope it stays this way. And I'm pretty shocked because it's really hot and the temperature of my water is not low, let me tell you, but all worked out. Right, so for a 3-week-old tank or so, does not look bad, right? Well, that's because it's a month and a half or a month and 3 weeks or so old, actually. It just ran without plants for a while, and it shows. And yeah, this has been the update. I will keep you up to date further on, and I will make sure to always post in a pinned comment either a playlist with this aquarium, either some updates. Just check the pinned comment if there's anything. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this little update and this tank. Check out my Orchid channel as well. Check out the description for more useful links and tutorials and whatever pertinent other videos or information I may want to share with you. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!